Hello everybody and welcome. This is a Legacy School grammar lesson for week 1, year 6. For this lesson you'll need your grammar book, pages 2 to 6, a pencil and an eraser. The teaching aims of today's lesson are to revise and practice present tenses, the simple and continuous. I have a quick question. Do you think English is a difficult language? It is complicated, but I think Arabic is a more difficult language in terms of vocabulary and some grammar notions. One concept, though, that is more difficult in English than it is in Arabic are tenses. Do you think it is important to learn about English tenses, though? It's actually extremely important, and that's why we're going to focus on that today. So we have 3 English tenses, main tenses, and they can be broken down into 3 categories. So we have the present simple, present continuous, and present perfect. These all fall under the present tense. We have the past tense, and we have also past simple, past continuous, and past perfect. And we have the future tense, and then under that, the simple future, future continuous, or continuous future tense, and the future perfect tense. Today we're going to focus on just the present tenses. I have a question. Is passive a tense? Absolutely not. But every tense can be either passive or active. So this makes the system even more complicated. But don't worry, we're going to break it down for you. All right. So what do you think is the best way to become good at using correct English? Reading, speaking, and doing lots of exercises definitely help. English is a very precise language and expresses a lot with the grammatical tenses. And often, if we don't use the correct tense, things can get very misunderstood. So what is the difference between these 2 sentences? I am learning the vocabulary and I have learnt the vocabulary. In the first sentence, it explains that the learning process hasn't finished yet. I am learning, so I'm still in the process of it. The second sentence says that I already know the sentences and I'm done with learning. I have learnt. So this very subtle difference and this word gives us completely different meanings. What is the difference between this? I live in Sudan and I have lived in Sudan. The activity is over in the first one. I have lived in Sudan and I'm done and I'm somewhere else. In the second sentence, the activity isn't exactly finished. I have lived in Sudan. It could mean that you're still in Sudan. For example, I have lived in Sudan for 2 years. I'm still here and I'm still continuing to live here. Even if you sometimes find it boring to work with grammar exercises, they're actually very, very important. The best way to get good at using tenses is to read a lot, and I mean a lot. This way you will learn naturally which situations require what tense through the story in the book, and you will be able to automatically use that tense later on. But it takes lots and lots of reading, like I said. All right, so we're going to revise the present simple and continuous tenses. When do we use each? So let's look at the present simple first. We use the present simple for habitual activities. It usually includes words like always, sometimes, never, usually, things like that. Those are good clues. And for the continuous tense, it's for actions that are happening now, at the moment. Let's give you some examples. I shop at the store. Or I shop at the store often. This is the present simple. This activity happens very often. And I am going to the store. I am in the process of making the journey to the store. This is the present continuous. Present continuous follows this rule. A being verb, which could be is, if you're talking about a singular noun, are for plurals, and am if you're using I. And then we're going to add ing to the verb. So here we used am as our being verb, and we added ing to our verb, which is go. What are going, doing, speaking, and writing? These are present participles, actually. So let's go ahead and look at our spelling book, our grammar book, pages 2 and 3. Go ahead and open those up, and we're going to go over the exercises. So, exercise 1 says complete the web page with the present continuous form of the verbs from the box. We have hold, offer, organize, perform, play, and sing. And like I said, to use the present continuous, we have to add a being verb, which could either be is for singulars, are for plurals, and am if we're using I. So they did the first one for you. The world famous company of knights is performing, and we took the word perform from the box, so we added is to it. Okay? A breathtaking horseback show from Wednesday to Saturday. Let's do number 2 together. City Hall. Eliza Gonzalez. So think about that. Is that singular or plural? It's singular, so we're going to add is, and then we're going to add ing to our being verb. Eliza Gonzalez blank songs. So which verb is suitable with songs? I think sing. So is singing songs from Brazil, Argentina, and Mexico. And you can carry on with the rest of that. Number 2 is a very similar activity. You're going to decide if you're going to use is or are or am, and then add ing. All right, they did the first one for you. Hi, Zoe. Are, we're going to add that. And then in the brackets, we have you and wait. We're going to add ing to wait to make it waiting. Are you waiting for the London train? We'll do number 2 together. No, we have I, so we're going to use the being verb am. I am meet. What do we do to our verb? We add ing. I am meeting my mother off the train. Very good. For page 2, we're going to do the exact same thing. Add is or am or are, and then add ing to the verb. Which tenses do we use when we speak about habitual action? Something that happens usually? We use the present simple. Very good. And when do we use the present continuous? If the action is happening at the time of speaking. I think this is very clear at this point. Good for you. All right, so the present continuous is also used when we are talking about a program that is happening soon. So usually with expressions like this week or this month. For example, this week we are learning. Look, we have our being verb and we have ing after the verb. This week we are learning about prime numbers and math. So if you have expressions like this week or this month, we're going to use the present continuous tense. Another example, the band is playing at the hall this Friday. So also they specified when it's going to happen, so we can use the present continuous tense. These are planned activities. If you said the band plays on Friday, then that would mean that they play every Friday, and that is not true. Here we are specifying that they are going to be playing only this Friday. So we are going to use the present continuous tense. If they played every Friday, we would just use the present simple tense. Continuous tenses use the verb be corresponding with the subject. That's very important to remember.